G'day everyone, this is the currency update for July 25th, 2023. So we're going to be covering these currencies and we'll go through each of the charts respectively on the hourly chart. So first off, looking at the Aussie New Zealand, you can see here we did have a divergence that was hit based on the target we placed last time on this bearish divergence on the CCI. It came down and hit our target, bounced off the 38% level, and it's making a retrace back up towards the original trend. But notice the it's still in a slightly bullish to neutral outlook on this, but notice it's still making an advancement, although the CCI is still probably in a decline, so we may see a push further to the downside possibly if this doesn't correct anytime soon. So at the moment it's sort of bullish to neutral at the moment, so don't get too cocky about going long until we see much more advancement above making new highs possibly. On the next one we've got on the list is the Aussie New Zealand. So for the Aussie New Zealand, you can see here it's still also in a neutral on the stochastic, and after some time ago it did hit our target back here on this bearish divergence, and it kept declining, and it broke through the 50% level and actually probably just touched the 61% Fibonacci level of that Fibonacci level. So we're seeing a bit of a bounce at the moment. The stochastic and the CCI are starting to turn up as well along with the price, so we may see a bit of a bounce here. So we'll keep an eye on that. But again, that's a key area to look out for on the 61%, and we may see further advancements possibly here. Next on our list is the Euro British Pound. As for the Euro British Pound, you can see there we did draw this diagonal trend line. It's actually gravitated towards that after that advancement up there. We did see a retrace back here towards the 38%, and you'll notice the CCI is still in decline as well as the stochastic approaching the midpoint. So it may drop a bit further, but again the key area to look out for is the 61%, and especially if it drops below the stochastic, then it's going to be starting to become more bearish on the Euro British Pound. On the Euro US, we've got, let me find that chart first. Again, similar sort of thing. It hit our key resistance up here. It bounced down from there. Initially, previous to our last video, hit our target on a divergence versus the price. You can see that the CCI was declining, hit our target, and it kept declining and actually come down and resting on the 50% Fibonacci retracement level. The stochastic likewise is approaching the 50 midpoint, and the CCI is still in decline, so we may see further downside, but again, look out for the 61% retracement. The British Pound US Dollar, that's still in decline from our CCI after it hit our target. You can see there, and we've got a slightly smaller divergence there. That's still in play, so long as that CCI remains above that entry point. That's still in place, so we'll extend that out just to keep it valid. So long as that point stays higher than that, then we're still in a bullish momentum possibly, and we'll just extend that point there as well to that lowest point. So that's a small divergence still in play. So we may see a bounce, and if it breaks above that trend line, if you draw a trend line above, let's put it a little channel there. If it broke above, say, that point there, that'll be your entry point to go along, and we'd have a target placed. Let's go to that Fibonacci high there. So our closest target, closest to the Fibonacci range, it depends where it breaks out. If it breaks out there, you could put a target sort of midway between the 23% and the 38% level. That'll be probably a reasonable target to place. So I like choosing the closest Fibonacci range to improve your probability, because these don't always mean a huge move to the upside or a reversal. It could just mean a little retrace before continuing its current trend. In this case, it's a downtrend. So the next one is the New Zealand Canadian dollar. So again, that hit our target back there on the divergence. The CCI kept falling, went way beyond the 100% retracement level, and it's approaching this lower diagonal descending trend line. But you'll notice the CCI is making some slight move to the upside, The stochastic has broken down through the midpoint and starting to flatten out, so we may see a possible retrace or bounce from that area there. But again, that's just that has broken through that 100% retracement level there. So I'll keep an eye and see if it breaks any higher. There's no real divergence to talk about on that one, so it's more of a potential for a trend reversal on the British pound, sorry, the New Zealand Canadian. Next we've got the US Canadian. So on the US Canadian, let's go back to the chart there. That's been hovering around this 38% level, 23 to 38% level for some time now. It did hit our target after the initial divergence breakout. And it went as high as the 50%, but it's still currently around now the 23% Fibonacci retracement of that range. So it's still bearish. You can see there the stochastic is still below the midpoint, and we may see further declines possibly, but to get more positive, we want to see it break above the 61% of that Fibonacci range to be more positive. And lastly on the list, we've got the US Japanese yen. Now that did come down and bounced off this support area along with bullish divergence, hit our target at that point there, and it kept rising. But you'll notice the CCI starting to weaken and fall off, so we may see a bit of a retrace back down to the downside. Very importantly, you'll notice there, as we always say, the 61% is a key area to look out for. It seems to have hit that point and bounced off it, and possibly going to retrace back and continue its downtrend. So if that does happen, we will see the CCI start falling further, possibly. Now, if it breaks above that 61%, then we're going to see further upside. But again, we need to see the CCI as well advance to the upside as well to be more positive and bullish on the US Japanese yen. So that's where we are on the currencies for today. And I'll give you more updates as we progress in the coming days. And to subscribe and get some further understandings into some trend strategy ideas and divergence strategies, subscribe to my Patreon page, where we also do weekly scans of stocks, currencies and commodities. Subscribe, like and share the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you in a future video.